Hey everyone, my name's Jeff Dean and I'm Math Dad. I'm here to help you help your kids understand math. Today I'm going to share with you my third tip for helping kids when you're working with them on math. Whether you're a parent or whether you're a teacher, this one's for you. I love this tip. This tip changed the way that I help people with math. 15 years of teaching high school math, and it wasn't until I started helping my kids with their homework that I learned this tip. And once I applied it to my classroom and applied it to what I was doing with them, it changed everything. My daughter, she does gymnastics, and let's say she got a 8.1 on her bar routine. And at practice, her coach says, "You got an 8.1 on your bar routine. We want a 10. So let's run that whole routine." Not good enough. That's not a 10. Let's run that whole routine. Still not good enough. Do it again. We want a 10, and we're going to keep doing it until it's a 10. You might say, hold on a second. Even though it's not a 10, I bet there's a whole lot to that routine that is done correctly, and just a couple of flaws that need to be fixed. So what do? Well, you probably break down the routine so you can point out those specific flaws, so you can fix the first one, and the second one, and the third one, until you start doing better and better and better. And even though in gymnastics she may never get a 10, with every one of those flaws that she fixed, she's going to get better and better and start to understand the routine better. It seems silly to just throw the whole thing away because it wasn't perfect. But a lot of times that's how we approach math. So here's my third tip. If it's not broke, don't fix it. What do I mean by that? Well, traditionally in math, if you don't have the right answer, we say, it's wrong. Do it again. It's wrong. Do it again. But I bet if you look at the work that your kids are doing on their math, even though the answer is wrong, I bet there's a whole lot that they're doing right. For example, what if they were doing division and they were following the correct procedures? They were following the correct processes. They had things set up properly, but in one spot, they made a subtraction error. Do you throw away all of the hard work and say, you must not understand division? I don't think so. The division's not broke, but it's possible there may be a subtraction mistake. So what if we break down that part? We focus on the subtraction part so that the whole process, which they seem to understand, gets better and better and better. Instead of focusing on the whole thing being wrong, let's focus on all the stuff that's right and break down piece by piece the parts that need to be fixed. If I was writing an essay or a paper or a term paper or any of those things, and I had one spelling mistake, we wouldn't throw away the whole paper and say, that's a big fat 0. There's no credit for that. No, we'd point out the spelling mistake, or we'd point out the punctuation mistake, and we'd fix it. Because when we're writing, we do drafts. We do our first draft. It's rough. We're expecting to see mistakes so that we can gather up feedback, make some changes, and do it again. And then after a second draft, maybe we see a few more things that need to be fixed. And then we have another chance to make it right. And every single time we get feedback on the little things we're doing wrong, it makes the paper better. And we start to understand how the whole thing comes together. And that's how we need to approach helping kids with math. It can be so frustrating when all you hear is, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, check, check. I have seen countless homework assignments or tests come home for my kids where it's just a big X through it. And I'm like, there's so much they're doing right. It's not all wrong. There was just a little error here or a little error there. And those things can be fixed with specific feedback on those mistakes. So, when you're helping your kids with homework or your kids in studying and they're doing math, my third tip is if it's not broke, don't fix it. Focus and find the things they're doing right so that you can say, look at everything you're doing right. You got 90% of it correct. If we can just tweak this little piece or this little piece, it's going to get better and better. And with that positive feedback, they're going to start understanding math better, not get so frustrated, and start to see all of the good things that they can do. One of the things that I used to do when I was teaching was challenge kids when they would tell me things like, Mr. Dean, I don't understand any of it. I'd go, come on. There's got to be something you understand. Nope, I don't understand anything. Not a single piece, they'd tell me. So here's what I would do. I'd go, well, what's that right there? And I go, well, that's an addition sign. So you understand an addition sign. What does that tell you to do? Well, it tells me to add. Oh, so you understand what an addition sign tells you to do. Well, what should you do first? Well, I have to add this. Oh, so you know the first step. And then I'd start just saying things like, and then what? And sure enough, they'd tell me the next thing to do. And then what? And they would tell me the next thing to do. And then what? And they would tell me the next thing to do. And more times than not, we found out they understood a whole lot of it. They just needed some confidence in putting all the pieces together. And the point is, there was a lot they knew. They were focusing on the fact that they couldn't get the right answer and made that think, I don't understand anything. And I wanted them to see that you understand most of it. There's just a little thing here and a little thing there. And then we'd focus in, fix those pieces, and then the whole thing came together. And they started to understand what they were doing. And they had the confidence because they realized, I do know most of this stuff. So that's my encouragement. That's tip number 3. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Help your kids see what they're doing right, and then focus in on the little things that they can do that they're doing wrong. It'll bring the whole thing together and really build their confidence. Thanks for joining me, and if you're loving my tips and you like these things, please share them with your friends. They can follow this Facebook page or they can follow me on Twitter at OneMathDad. I also have a YouTube channel, One Math Dad. Talk to you next time.